What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Pack_Bulls_Pack, joined by my guy, Big Dave, BAWL Sports, and that's our panel producer, Joey Spethis.
Joey!
At Joey Spethis.
Clean shaven.
Goat is off this week. Hopefully he is enjoying himself out in Paris. It had been too long. Mm-hmm. You know, we were out there for Bulls Pistons last year. He had to go back.
He had to, man.
So we're going to hold down the fort this week. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday weekend out there in Bulls Nation. How did y'all do this weekend? Did you enjoy yourselves?
I did. I did nothing. It was great.
Oh, I love that.
A lot of chilling.
I love weekends of nothing.
You know, when you get the divot in your couch or bed that you made, just laying it for hours and
having everything delivered and or brought to you.
Oh my God, it was on rotation. It was crazy. And then my other air conditioner came back to life, man.
What?
I took it home to bury it.
Child part one?
Child part one.
Has been resurrected?
Resurrection, dog. Hallelujah.
Did you use a black witch like Jon Snow style to bring it back to life, or
no, just straight love and care and tender kindness, man. Is all I usually use. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And I was really about to just put it to rest and throw it out, and then I plugged it in just to see, and it lit up. I said, "Oh shit!" And then I turned it on, and it was like, "Oh shit!" And then I unplugged it and let it go, and then it died immediately. And then I realized you have to keep it plugged in now. That's the only way it's going to work.
Oh, so it operates if plugged in.
If plugged in,
but not
if I take
in no other way.
In no other way will it operate. So I have to always keep it plugged in, or it won't work. So
that's sort of like resurrecting somebody, but they are not a shell of themselves.
Correct.
When you bring them back from the dead.
True.
They're not really themselves.
True, but they still serve the purpose they were originally here for, which was to keep me amazingly cool.
Keep the games cool.
While I lay in the divot. Chill the hell out.
He's fixing a divot.
Divot!
Joseph, how was your holiday weekend, buddy? What'd you do?
Shave.
Very, very nice. Chill. Spent some time with some friends, and yeah, good recharge. How about
when did
yourself?
you shave, Joe?
I shaved last night.
Last night? What was it behind that decision?
Just felt like it was time.
Just it was time to do?
Okay. Look at, he's trying to look babyface because he's got that birthday approaching in a few days.
Ah, okay.
Starting to feel like an old man.
Does your lady like the stubble or the smooth?
She's cool with whatever.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. That's a good woman. It's a good woman right there.
Flexible.
That's it. What about you, sir? Your weekend? What'd you do?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I was back on my old college campus in rural Ohio. It's my 15th reunion.
15. Okay.
Hadn't been back in 10 years. Went back for my 5th, missed my 10th.
Okay.
Saw some old college professors, some of my favorite professors. Saw some old friends that I had lost touch with over the years. You know, it happens.
Okay.
But wonderful people to catch up with. Had a wonderful time. If we're being perfectly honest, behaved like a college student in all the best ways.
That thing's a lot of things, and I think you did all of those things.
Came back with a few battle scars.
What the hell?
Yeah. I woke up with that on Sunday. I'm not right.
He had a blast. That's what that means.
Yeah.
He had a blast, sir. I'm happy. Did you say on campus? Or?
Yeah. Well, so some of us got an Airbnb at this little lake that was just a few miles down the road from our campus. But I also did get a room in one of the dorms on campus as sort of like a home base at campus.
You had 2 spots?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, packing a man down there, bro.
The older you get when you come back to campus, you got to be a bit of a baller as much as you can.
Fair point.
But yeah, no, I was just wearing Birks and Tanks the whole weekend.
Okay.
Save for like the one fancy dinner Saturday night, which was like all alumni dinner, and I had one respectable outfit for that.
Okay.
Because it was our college's bicentennial year.
Ooh,
Kenyon College founded 1824. Shout out to my Kenyon people. And so it was the 200th birthday, 200th anniversary, and so usually they just do it by the 5s of your graduation year, as far as who's invited. But because it was a bicentennial this year, they were like, everybody come.
Everybody show up.
Yeah, campus was just a madhouse.
It wasn't anybody who was recently going to the school there, right?
So these poor undergrad kids, a lot of them stay on campus after their spring semester ends and like work the reunion event. Shit. They had undergrad kids in golf carts, like carting ancient alumni who were coming back and were like, I graduated in 1965.
Damn right.
And then, us in our 30s, 40s, who are like a bit more rambunctious, just carting us up and down campus wherever we needed to go.
Because you were drunk and having a great time.
That.
Okay, I understand.
Yes, that's reunion weekend is when campus security says, okay, open container laws aren't a thing. And we all say, you're damn right, open container laws aren't a thing.
Screw the law. We're drinking.
But yeah, so it's fun. You chat with these undergrads. I'm like, oh yeah, what year are you going into? What are you studying? What do you want to do? And
that's interesting because you usually
just see the youth and hope and you want
life
in their eyes.
And you want to stomp it out like a fire. I know you too well. Like, put your hopes down, kid.
No,
it sucks out here.
No, I just said embrace the remainder of the time you have here because damn, it goes by fast. I couldn't believe I was there celebrating my 15th
bag of chips
reunion.
Was that written on that you just decided to? What was that? Embrace the day, kids. He was drunk. He don't remember none of this. He had fun.
Yeah, you got to just embrace the youthfulness of life. Yeah, life is short. Enjoy it.
That's true. That's also on the back of a candy wrapper.
That is true. We wanted to talk about some of the latest we've heard from Lonzo Ball over the weekend.
Yes.
He dropped another episode of his new podcast, and he is speaking very confidently about what's coming up this offseason for him and the fact that he is feeling very ready to play. So we will touch on that. But speaking of embrace life is short, sad news for the NBA world and NBA fans everywhere over the weekend. NBA legend, Naismith Hall of Famer, Bill Walton passed away on Sunday at the age of 71 after his prolonged battle with cancer. Someone whose NBA career was interrupted and then cut short because of, injuries. Big man, foot injuries. You see that kind of story play out all the time. But someone who still was, in his own right, an NBA MVP, Finals MVP when he won his first ring in the 70s with Portland, two-time All-Star. I mean, the accolades for someone whose career was cut short and interrupted so often because of injuries. When you look at the best of what Bill Walton did as a player, not to mention his championship pedigree at UCLA, his college years, and then one of those like staying power kind of sports icons, whether it be basketball or otherwise, who found himself that second career as a broadcaster or a commentator, who just brought so much joy to any game and any call that he was on all the time. That's why like even younger generations of basketball fans knew and enjoyed who Bill Walton was if they never saw him play a single minute of basketball.
Yeah. Let's start on the court with Bill Walton. Since college, just one of the most dominant players to ever be in the league, period. The man at UCLA won 88, what was it, like 88 games in a row?
Yeah.
Or something stupid like that. I still remember the game in college where, because my brothers talked about it all the time, where he missed one shot.
21 of 22 in that championship game.
In the championship game, ball game. Talked about it all the time and did this with the legendary John Wooden, who's obviously a legend in his own right. But he was the man in college. And then again, this is that time when college basketball really was college basketball. Playing 3 or 4 years was the norm.
Yep.
So he was the man during that time, and I mean, just completely dominated. When he got to the league, it was immediate his how good he was. It was immediate, as you just mentioned, the MVP, the Finals MVP, the championship, the only championship he is that Portland has had. Is because of Bill Walton. Then he deals with the knee injuries. Then he goes on and gets to Boston, becomes Sixth Man of the Year.
Sixth Man of the Year for 86. Yeah, arguably one of the best teams of all time.
Correct. Wins a couple more titles with Boston, being on that team and contributing to them. So Bill Walton was a menace. You asked centers at that time who was the toughest to guard. A lot of them would tell you Bill Walton was that dude. And Bill Walton was, before Jokic, was that toolsy kind of center. You know what I mean? Could do every single thing on the floor. So, yeah, we know him for being silly and Grateful Dead and all that. Yeah. But that dude would whoop your ass on the floor and would tell you about it. Like, he was competitive as they come. And one of the best. That's why he's on the top 75. He was on the top 50 also.
Yeah.
When they did it. So yeah, Bill Walton was incredible.
I mean, you mentioned Joker and that sort of passing big man thing that has been rare over the years, and I know to maybe a lesser degree, Bulls fans embraced that version of Joakim when we saw the point center Joakim season when Derek was out, and you know so many wonderful things have been said and so many wonderful stories harken back to of NBA people remembering their favorite parts of who Bill Walton was and what he did, and shout out to Chewy on Twitter because this went viral. One in particular of Bill Walton talking about Nikola Jokic and the similarities that they had as a big man, not only on the court, but in only a way Bill Walton could, talking about Joker in a way widened out frame of reference. He's a beautiful player who plays a mental game. He has what seems to have been lost in the world, which is peripheral vision. When you walk down the street in life, when you drive a car, when you ride a bike, in the world on the street, it is staggering now, the lack of peripheral vision. But Nikola Jokic is the antidote to so many of our problems in the world. Wait for it. When you see someone like a Nelson Mandela or a Martin Luther King or a Mahatma Gandhi, someone who sees the future before anyone else does, knows how to get where they need to be, where they want to be, that is Nikola Jokic. Happiness begins when selfishness ends. In a game that has been taken over by incessant dribbling for yourself, Joker is such a breath of fresh air, and it's his imagination. Watching him play basketball is like watching Bob Dylan write a song. That's just one example of the brilliance of Bill Walton's mind.
Oh man, how wouldn't you want to run through a wall after hearing some stuff like that?
Right?
Even if you were a low self-esteem person, if he said that about you, you would believe anything. You'd be ready to run through anything after hearing that. That is incredible. The man compared him in the same breath with Mandela and Martin Luther King, man. That's insane, dog. Like, no, Bill Walton is incredible. Like, verbally, like the things he would say and things he would do is just out of this world, man.
Yeah.
So, but that leads into the off the court. Kind of think about.
I mean, because like as my age, I don't know if you remember maybe watching the tail end of Walton's playing career with the Celtics.
I do not.
When he was an old man. But so like I grew up watching Bill Walton as a commentator of my 90s NBA childhood. And I saw it. Was it you who found and clipped that one and put it up from our team account of him talking about MJ when he was coming back at the tail end of the 94-95 season? And was like, I wouldn't be surprised to see MJ drop 50, like in one of his first few games back. And then it was like
nothing.
Yeah, the double nickel at the Garden happened like a couple days later.
5 games in, and he said it perfectly because he was like, yeah, for the first week or so, he's going to dominate. And then he's going to chill out, and then he'll get back to form. And that's really what happened. You know what I mean? Because that's what I remember those first weeks, the game winner against Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the first game against Indiana, and then the double nickel. Like, that was all kind of in the first few games of him actually being back in the league, man.
Right.
Now, Bill Walton, bro, special. Absolutely
people
special.
in the comments chiming in with their own thoughts. Fish saying he was so awesome. Larry Strickland saying the NBA shaman, RAP. Flex Dig saying Bill Walton had such a good spirit. God bless him. Rob saying I'm going to be watching Walton's 30 for 30 this week. Episode 1 was really good. Yeah, the Walton 30 for 30 is fantastic. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend. Rob also saying Walton was smoking that sativa pretty heavy. I mean, like, obviously, everyone, big Grateful Dead fan. Basically was a deadhead who saw that, band countless times, took some of his NBA teammates to some of their first Grateful Dead shows.
On the stage with them.
Obviously always rocking the Grateful Dead tie-dye stuff, even when he was doing calls sometimes. Like, screw the suit and tie. I'm just going to show up to this game rocking tie-dye.
He was in, I saw a concert that he was in. They had him dressed as Father Time. On the stage of him performing, dog. Like, no, he was involved. Like, he was in that, bro. And you just love that kind of spirit and that kind of person. You know what I mean? He's never afraid to be him and never afraid to say what the hell was on his mind. Yeah.
The other one that I really enjoyed seeing was Kareem's tribute to him. I don't know, Joe, if you have that one that you could throw up there because, so many people were affected positively by Walton. And Kareem shared this message when he heard, my very close friend, fellow Bruin, NBA rival Bill Walton passed today, and the world feels so much heavier on the court. Bill was a fierce player, but off the court, he wasn't happy unless he did everything he could to make everyone around him happy. He was the best of us. And you heard some sentiment sounding like that from anyone in the sporting world who knew Bill Walton over the last 48 hours.
No, let me tell you 2 things I remember about Bill Walton. There's 2. One I just found out about, but the first one I remember was when he was broadcasting, and this was during like the 90s when Tom Tolbert was one of those guys, that started to come on. And I never liked Tom Tolbert. I thought he was trash as a player and as a commentator.
Yep.
And Tom Tolbert getting on there, he's talking crazy, to Bill Walton, about this guy's got to do this is live during the game. He's like, no, what is he doing? He's like, you can't do that in the last 2 minutes of the game. And Bill Walton said, what do you know about being in the last 2 minutes of the game? You were never in the game. I fell out. And that's one. The other one, I just saw Rachel Nichols posted this. And this was when she was doing the jump. She said Bill Walton loved the jump. He would always come by whenever he was in town. And the video was of him just basically signing his name and said Bill Walton loves the jump. And she said while he was there, he saw a photo of Bill Russell and confiscated it immediately. Just took it. And there's video of him doing this. And they're like, you really about to take this photo?
Yeah.
And he picked it up. He said, listen, this you all looking at it wrong. I'm not stealing this. He was like, I am taking this before you all lose it. And said, peace and love, I'm out. You walked it out, dog. And I was like, this is why you love Bill Walton, dog. Yeah. He would take those things and say those kind of things and just make you smile. You couldn't even be mad at it. You're just like, okay, Bill, all right, you got it, man. Love Bill Walton, man. He was special.
Walk to the beat of a different drummer.
Oh, my gosh, man, for sure.
Well, he is one of those iconic NBA hippies,
Yeah.
I think, of whom there are so few.
Yeah.
It's one of the other reasons I've always been drawn to Joakim.
Very true.
This dude fully embraces the fact that, I'm a professional athlete, and it's all about fierce competition at the highest level. But also, peace, free love, let's smoke some ganj.
Yes.
And I love those athletes for just fully embracing and not being ashamed of who they are.
Never. And I mean, this is a guy who was protesting the Vietnam War. He got arrested for that.
Yep.
I remember protesting the Vietnam War. He was never afraid to speak out on issues. He was never afraid to just stand and be himself. I remember he was talking about Luke Walton and his kids one time. He said, my kids grew up in L.A. and one of them played for the Lakers. The other one played as well. He was like, they're millionaires and they're my kids. He was like, if they're not having the time of their lives, I have failed as a father.
Truthfully.
Yo, man, I love Bill Walton, man. He was the best, bro.
Yeah, he truly was. As Kareem said, the NBA world and the whole world is a little bit darker, a little bit heavier with the passing of Walton. I will miss his commentary on anything and everything.
Absolutely,
The man was an incredible basketball player and an incredible entertainer.
Without a doubt.
All right, we got to take our first break. When we come back, we'll dive into what's going on in the present world of the Chicago Bulls and what we have heard from Lonzo Ball very recently about his rehab process and how he feels prepared for the 24-25 season. While we are sharing these words from our friends and sponsors, you know what to do, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button if you are watching on YouTube, maybe catching the replay. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. For all of you podcast listeners out there, people still doing it the old-fashioned way. Respect. And if you feel so inclined, leave us a rating and review on your preferred podcast platform. Up first today, we got Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. This May, our number one draft pick for all things Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram is Ray CDJR in Fox Lake. And right now, it's that saving season. Not only is May the time to find your next vehicle, you can score huge savings as well. For a limited time, you can lease a 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for just $419 a month. Incredible deal for a lease on that truck. Or shop over 125 vehicles priced at under $20,000. Huge inventory, incredible savings. Let the amazing team at Ray help you land the perfect vehicle at the perfect price. Because of that, that's right, Ray's Price Promise. You know what it is. The number you see for that vehicle on their website is the price you will pay when you walk into the dealership. No hidden fees, no trickery, no sneaky stuff.
No.
That is it. That is the promise.
Sneaky.
In fact, if anything, you will find even more savings from Ray and his team when you go to the dealership and maybe even pay less than the price you see listed on their website. Hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of Chicago's largest inventories. Then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. So if you are in the market for a new vehicle, you've got to check out that team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram because they are the only team that we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, you can visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or go to their website, raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963.
Man, Ray. You know what Ray likes sometimes? When he's not in his car and he's just at home chilling.
What's that?
On Memorial Day, beer.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, enjoys it, likes it. And I'm just going to take a hunch. But I think he enjoys some of that frosty cold Coors Light.
Got to assume he does.
Oh, it's a great assumption, sir. Because between work, social media, and choices that life throws your way, it's no wonder you're a little bit more worked up. Coors Light celebrates rising above and choosing a chill mindset, like our guy Bill Walton. Why not turn a rained-out barbecue into a Will the Gottlieb 34th annual karaoke house party?
Yes!
Or, after a tough loss, settle scores with the ice-cold peace offering. Make the choice and choose chill. Then reach for a Coors Light, because it got that mountain cold refreshment, y'all, and it's delicious. Because when those mountain turns blue, you know what to do. It's cold as the Rockies. Like Matt's cup. Frosty cold, but it's the Rockies. Cold lager, cold filter, and cold package for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. So make the most out of your time to chill. Go ahead and choose it and choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door via Instacart by going to CHGO Basketball. That's CHGO Basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Golden.
Colorado. Rocky.
I really do think that while he's out of town, we should try and find our way into the GOAT's house.
Okay.
And have a karaoke party set up and like ongoing for his arrival home. He and his better half walk through the door, and we are just here being like, "Go, welcome to your karaoke party that we are making you host, and you're first up. You're leading off. You got to sing a song."
If there's one,
that's the only way it's going to happen.
In the years we've known him, if there's one thing we know about Will, is he loves strangers in his house. Waiting for him to get karaoke, play karaoke, and have him sing the song.
Strangers infiltrating his home, waiting for him to sing a karaoke song.
He loves it. He whispers it to me often, like weekly, like, "Hey, I was just waiting for somebody to come in and have a microphone ready for me."
Right in Goat's wheelhouse.
Yeah, man. It's everything we know about him. That is just so him. It's so him, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. Classic GOAT. Drop your bags.
Just,
just a small town guy.
All we gotta do is find an unlocked window, and we can make this happen.
Or locked. I know some people just depends on how bad we want to have this party. That's all.
I want to have it very badly.
Very badly.
Very badly.
Oh man, don't tip me, man. GOAT. You shouldn't tell us stuff. I hope you're having fun, bro.
Also, shout out to Eagle Bean who said, "How does Dave remember Walton protesting the Vietnam War?"
The same way I remember him winning a championship and not seeing it. It's called actual history.
Fish said, "Eagle Bean, everyone protested the Vietnam War. There are pics of Walton getting arrested. Dave didn't say he was there."
Right. Like, come on, let's use some common sense here.
Yeah.
Come on.
I've seen limitless footage of Bill Walton's basketball career.
Did you?
Yeah, it's called The Internet.
What?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't watching him win those championships at UCLA.
So, I remember Bill Russell, man. I don't know, man. I'm just saying,
I'll never forget watching Russell win his first chip.
Oh, never forget where I was on that day. Are you kidding me? Oh, as soon as I press stop on that Beatles record, I step right in.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's talk Lonzo, Bulls Nation. Yeah. He has this new podcast called What an Experience with him, his brother LiAngelo, a couple of their friends, and they've been talking about his career, about life, about music, culture, basketball, whatever they want to talk about. But he has also been using it as sort of a platform to, from the horse's mouth, as they say, give Bulls fans a bit more intel on Lonzo's rehab process than we have gotten over the last 2 years.
That's a fact.
Plus. 2.5 years of him not being active on the court for the Bulls. So a couple of these pieces of his latest episode you clipped and shared from our team account. In case you missed them, here's the first one of him talking about where this all began when he was still a Laker and the initial meniscus tear. If you have that queued up and ready to play, Joe.
That's a rookie.
Okay, so we're going to start off with our weekly update on Zoe, your injury. But this week, we're going to dive a little deeper into what exactly your injury is, the process behind it. We know you got multiple procedures. Tell us what happened, where you are, and where you're going.
To make a long story short, ultimately, it started with a meniscus tear. Basically started on the Lakers when I tore it the first time. Tore it a couple more times to a point to where there was no more meniscus left and bone on bone was rubbing. So the cartilage was gone and the bone was messed up. So I had to get new meniscus from a donor. I had to get a bone allograft, and I had to get some new cartilage put in as well. All that, healed up, and now I'm back on the court now.
Okay, what a blessing.
Really was about 14, 15 months in now. So the stuff before that, we were trying to figure out what the problem was. So that was a waste.
Thank you, Joseph. So there it is from Lonzo on his What an Experience pod. The phrase that I think Bulls fans might peek their ears at there was when he said a bone allograft, which is, as it was reported earlier, that is the technical term for that sort of like donor cartilage transplant into an athlete's knee or whatever body part it is, that has had, as Lonzo also mentioned there, gotten so worn down and so damaged that there is no cartilage of your own left to repair. Wow. Meniscus shaved away, bone rubbing on bone. So you need to take cartilage from a different being and try to heal some of the damaged bone and replace that cartilage that has now been lost. The official definition that I found online of a bone allograft: surgical procedure that uses bone tissue from another person to help heal bones that are injured, weak, broken, or deficient. And that, I think, is that operation, that specific procedure that we heard when we heard Lonzo was getting it, that only a few professional athletes in a few different sports have ever attempted as a last-ditch effort to fix a cartilage situation, a meniscus situation, none of which have gone successfully in that, meaning that player came through that surgery, the rehab of that surgery, and continued their career. Lonzo would be, to my knowledge, the first one to have this bone allograft surgery work and get him back playing.
Yeah, and here's hoping that he is. When you hear that this started with the Lakers, you remember that, oh shit, you were drafted by the Lakers. You started your career with something like this, man. Like, you were barely into your 20s.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with something like this, bro, that is serious. And just remember, all his injuries had to do with pretty much his lower body. Everything was ankle, foot, toe, knee, like everything was down there. But that is huge to the point where they have to get it from someone else to put it in your knee before the age of 25. That's tough, man. And it says a lot about him psychologically as well, just how mentally tough this dude is, because that would take out so many people to, forget just playing basketball. Like, we're talking about just walking without, some pain in it, just doing those things. Like, we saw his knee, Matt. And as I said, when I saw it, it looked like a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
Like that thing.
That team picture day towards the end of the season.
Like, look at that thing. Like, it looked, man, it's been through some stuff. You forget that he is barely out of, 26? Like, I believe that's how old he is. Like, you forget those things. But the fact that it started his career, for me, is what is the most alarming thing, because he's never played. I think we went over this with Will when Will was here. 55 games?
Yeah.
It's like his peak that he's played, man. So now with a new injury that nobody has ever recovered from to come back and play successfully, like, how many games do you expect him to be out there? Like, those are the things I think about. But I'm going to stick right now, though, just at step one, and just be happy that this dude is even back on the court, man. Like, that's a miracle.
Go ahead, Joe.
I don't mean to poke fun, but like you said, like, it was almost remarkable to me that they're like, first of all, that they said, like we're going to do every week, we're going to dive into Lonzo's injury. Like, there's that much to dive into. And he's like, we're going to take this all the way back to the start, to when I was a Laker. That was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they're able to do this entire story time every week, and then different nuances of Lonzo's medical history, specifically, like Dave said, almost all on his lower body. I'm like, geez, we're not talking about a guy that has already played an entire career. Right. This is a guy that's 6 or 7 years in, and if you really count all the years he's played, with how little mileage. It just, that part is sad to me, but it's almost insane that they're able to do all that and have that much injury history to even talk about.
Yeah. Tim Adams in the comments pointing out one of those examples I previously mentioned. Gabriel Landeskog of the Colorado Avalanche got this same, bone allograft cartilage replacement surgery before Lonzo got his, and he has still not returned to skating on the ice. Wow. One of the examples of this surgery being a last-ditch attempt to fix a problem and it not working out for that athlete. I think there is at least one other previous NBA player example that also didn't work. If it was a big man, Festus Ezeli, is that who it was?
Festus Ezeli.
I want to say it was a big man. Maybe that might be my brain memory working.
Shout out to your brain memory.
Vo in the comments with an interesting addition to this conversation, saying, I work in a transplant ICU. Ooh. Absolutely unreal that Lonzo and his team are even considering coming back to full speed. This does not happen for mortals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a miracle that he's even to the point he is right now. And it says a lot about him mentally. Now, obviously, as time goes on and this happens again, you're going to see that player come back on the floor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just like that. It's kind of like with Tommy John surgery. It used to be a death sentence. Right. You know what I'm saying? For people. Or an Achilles tear. Yeah. It used to be a death sentence for guys. But now, off season, and you're back in there, you could be playing again. So that's going to happen. But we're at the beginning kind of stages of it right now. So Lonzo is already just doing things that have been deemed medically impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fact that he is defying those kind of odds, again, says a lot about the man and a lot about the mental makeup of that person, but also the advancement, you know what I'm saying, in the medical field and that technology to where they have them now.
Yeah. Look, it's not what we've seen, the video evidence that has found its way to Twitter and other places, nothing close to what you would call almost comparable to NBA in-game, full contact, full speed, 5-on-5 basketball action. Yeah. But he is out on a court, getting shots up, doing like we saw him dunk in one of those videos. Yeah. It appears that he is coming closer to actual basketball activities that might lead to what he's saying, which is I feel good about like being on track on this recovery. This timeline feels better than any of the previous ones, and that I'm going to play. Sports Chicago style in the comments saying, hope Lonzo recovers, but as far as his Bull tenure, that boat has left Navy Pier. 1 year remaining on his contract. Be gone. He was fragile before this latest injury. Ain't going to get better with age.
No, I agree. I think this is the last year for him. And honestly, this might be, Matt, a year of them showcasing him, that if they get to that trade deadline, if he's doing well, you can look at a team like, hey, Lonzo's playing well. I don't expect him to be playing every game. You know what I mean? Like, I expect him to play a couple games, take a game off. You know what I mean? Do it like that. But if he looks like Lonzo Ball when he's out there on the floor, that immediately becomes an asset for the Bulls, because I do not see them re-signing him or bringing him back, because his knee is kind of – and it's not his fault that it was like this, but he was the one holding everything kind of in place for the Bulls. He was the safety valve. He was the plug. He was the one. He was the lint trap. You know what I mean? For all the trash that was sliding through. So he was the one. So once that lint trap broke, all that trash got through. Right. Hard to repair a lint trap. You got to get a new one.
Like, even if we do see Lonzo take the court in Game 1, this coming October, and how crazy and almost unbelievable that would be to Bulls fans who have watched this last 2.5 years, unfold the way it has for Lonzo.
True.
I feel like most of us would have this sinking fear, this dread in the back of our minds of like, at what point are we going to see Lonzo, land awkwardly after jumping, or make a cut and then hobble to the bed? Like, what is, if this surgery worked to fix it, to get him all the way, trigger warning, ramped up to where he's playing again, when will it, of course, collapse like we all probably fear it will? I'm picturing the reconstruction of Lonzo's knee as like that tower of janky broken furniture that Marv makes in Home Alone 2, in the house that, the empty house is being renovated. Yeah. Macaulay Culkin's trap house.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, I found a way to get back up to the top floor of this brownstone. And it's just like that is how I picture Lonzo's knee right now.
Oh my God.
And it might work for a short part of that climb.
Yeah.
But Just when you think you're going to get back to the top, the whole thing comes just crumbling down into a pile of dust.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I can't debate that. That might happen. And you know me, I err on the side of winning and positivity all the time.
Sure.
So I just want him, you know what I mean, to just be all right and just to be able to play. But one, I just wanted him to be able to walk. And since we've cleared that hurdle, you know what I mean? Okay, you're running. Okay, we've cleared that hurdle. Okay, let's see if you can get on the floor a little bit. And they talked about it a little bit in that podcast. They were like, no, man, like we saw you dunking. Like a couple of them dunks you were doing, was serious and incredible. So he's along doing those kind of things. Again, these are miracles that are happening right now, man. But Matt's basically like, when does the miracle run out? You know what I mean? What are you going to do then, about it? And the Bulls have to be prepared for that. They should not be putting it on him for that reason. You can't don't put anything on Lonzo to be like, well, if Lonzo does this, we're going to win. Like, no, do not do that. Just find out if he can play basketball and then see what you can get for him. That's my thinking of it.
That, I think, is the important second half of this conversation of getting this update from Lonzo of should Lonzo's rehab and him coming to the court this fall change the approach that AK and Eversley have for what the hell next season is going to be for this team as a whole?
That's a good question.
Because that, I think, is an even scarier big picture question than Lonzo specifically.
It's a good question.
Let's take our second ad break there, and then we'll come back. We'll hear one more piece of what Lonzo had to say on his podcast, and then talk about what this might change for the Bulls if Lonzo is, in fact, getting ready to suit up and play the final year of his Bulls contract. Hit that like button now if you didn't do it the first time around. Do it for Bill Walton. Do it for our friend Joe and his pal Troll Joe. Dave, who's next?
I wonder if Troll Joe will go to Sunnyside. Joey, would Troll Joe go to Sunnyside?
Yeah, he's been known. He's been known to stop by.
He's been known to stop by?
Yeah. Barter thumbs for product.
For some goodies out there. All right. Shout out to Troll Joe for barter.
Some thumb gummies?
Watch his brain explode when they show it to him.
You don't have to collect human thumbs anymore.
Right, no more. Put them down,
Get
sir.
a treasure chest of these.
Yes, give them to us.
Delicious.
Yes, and thanks for the thumbs up you all are giving us out there, too.
Hey.
Appreciate you. And because of that, I'm going to tell you about Sunnyside, because it's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products, the highest hydroponics in the city. Sunnyside
weed college?
Damn. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains for you to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. All right, you order it there, in-store, you get it, you're back home sitting down, chilling out. Sunnyside is Illinois' favorite dispensary. They got locations in Wrigleyville and River North. They even got them all the way in the suburbs. They can go Champaign. They can go to South Beloit. Wherever you want to be, Sunnyside is where it's at. And if you're starting out, Sunnyside has an expert guidance and brands we know that you'll love. They got them good news. And they got them Mindy's. What's your favorite again, Matt?
Yeah, the good news brunch flavor. Little half. They look like little half orange slices. They are delicious.
Delicioso. Peck approved out there. Shout out to his reunion weekend. Head to Sunnyside.shop. Use the code HICHGO at checkout and get 35%. That is 35% on favorite brands like Cresco, Good News, and much, much more to elevate your first purchase. That code again is HICHGO. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 and over or Illinois Met card holders.
Boom. Today's CHGO Bulls show also brought to you by our friends at Butcher Box. Ooh. Anybody out there need some delicious meats? Delicious meats at affordable prices?
Yeah.
Delivered straight to your door?
Why not?
With free shipping?
Come on with it.
Why not? Y'all know, it's no secret if you tune into this program and have for a while. Big meat eater.
What?
Like my meat. I am a carnivore.
Oh.
And ButcherBox is one of the easiest ways to get great cuts of different meats and seafoods delivered fresh to your door to make your cooking throughout the week, throughout each month, easier and more delicious. Easily find high quality meat and seafood that you can trust with ButcherBox because they offer 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork-raised, crate-free, and wild-caught seafood.
Woo!
All humanely raised, no antibiotics, no added hormones.
No.
And as I said, delivered straight to your door when you sign up for a subscription, which of course also includes free shipping always. Curated to customize your different selections. You can change these selections throughout your monthly subscription as it rolls along. And the options are aplenty. Variety of high quality cuts at amazing values. Plus exclusive member deals that you can't get anywhere else. They also provide recipe ideas and inspirations for these different cuts of meat and the seafood that you are getting delivered straight to your door. Plus great tips and hacks for the best ways to prepare these different products.
Nice.
Also, right now, incredible offer that they are offering exclusively to our CHGO listeners out there, because when you sign up for a ButcherBox subscription right now, not only will you get $20 off your first monthly order,
What else you get?
you will get one of your choosing of free meat.
What?
Either free salmon for a year.
What?
And I'm talking 2 pounds of wild-caught Alaskan sockeye salmon, free in each monthly order delivered to your door.
Wow.
I know Dave likes that sound.
Wow.
That's a $384 value.
I'm about
right
to say
there.
that ain't cheap.
Free.
Wow.
You could also, this one's for me, get free steak tips for a year when you sign up now with our CHGO code. A pound of 100% grass-fed and grass-finished steak tips free in each monthly order when you sign up. Or if you're a chicken person, free chicken breast for a year. 3 pounds of free-range organic chicken breast free, again, in each monthly order that shows up delivered for free to your door.
That's amazing.
Incredible, right?
That's amazing.
Incredible. Join today using our link, butcherbox.com/CHGO, and use the promo code CHGO to receive that wonderful exclusive offer today of that free meat of your choice, salmon, steak, or chicken, plus $20 off your first order.
Wow.
ButcherBox. Get some meat up in your life.
That is man, look. Wild caught ain't cheap
Yeah.
at all, bro. And that's what I eat.
You
know
want-
what I mean? That ain't cheap.
You
bro.
want free salmon every
I
month
was just
for
thinking in my head,
for
man.
a year?
I think we combine in on this, man. I mean, everybody wins. Sound like everybody's winning out here. You know what I mean? God.
Just have it sent to the office and divvy up the box.
Divvy up. You know what you want? I know what I want. We get it in and we go our separate ways. That's amazing. That's a great deal.
You darn tootin'. Shout out ButcherBox. Okay, so What an Experience podcast. Lonzo saying, hey, here's this crazy long story of how this all started back when I was a Laker and the meniscus injury first popped up. Then after all of that, he did still say when one of his co-hosts asked him, will you be in a Bulls jersey at the start of the 24-25 season?
Yes.
Joseph, do you have that one queued up?
Hey, Miss Mathis.
Will you be in a Bulls jersey at the start of the 24 season?
Yes.
Okay.
I firmly believe that. That's the plan that I'm on, and I haven't had any setbacks. So
Okay.
I expect to play the first game.
You had a good dunk in the gym the other day.
Great dunk.
I expect to play the first game. Wow. And look, Anco in the comments earlier pointing out, we also saw Lonzo running on a treadmill and dunking before we heard the announcement of this latest and most frustrating surgery that he was about to have.
Yeah.
So, grain of salt, but that sounded like a very confident Lonzo saying, oh yeah, I'm suiting up for game one.
Yeah, and he meant it. Like, he just said it like this is about to happen. And I love that. That's the mentality you're going to need, obviously, when you're coming back from something like this. You're going to need that mentality. But it just honestly gave me some assuredness, man. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when he said it, I was like, okay. Because it's like we've been waiting on to hear those things, and he hasn't been vocal, you know what I mean, for the past year or two about any of this. So with him coming out saying these things now, like, oh, no, I'm playing. Like, this is going to have, like, regardless of what I'm about to talk about on this podcast with my journey to get here and the steps I'm at now, please understand, at the end of this, I'm going to be there game one playing suited up for the Chicago Bulls. Wow. You know, for him to even say those kind of things, man, it gave me, honestly, some assuredness, and I was really happy for him.
Benjamin in the comments, one of several Bulls fans offering encouragement, saying, keep at it, Lonzo. Respect to your dedication to the game and your recovery. Focus on the journey. Don't fret about whether you've reached the destinations that others attempt to impose on you. Well said.
The bars.
But so that, to me, is the interesting part as a Bulls fan when you're looking at this, because if you are pro AK and Eversley should follow through on what AK said and actually make some serious changes to this roster.
Yeah.
We don't want run it back continuity 4.0.
We do not.
Signing DeMar to a 2-year, $80 million deal. Maybe you find a way to get Zach LaVine off your books.
Okay.
But other than that, you know, you match an offer for Pat, you bring DeMar back, and then like that. If you aren't in favor of that and would rather see them trade off as many of these veteran pieces as they can, and maybe focus on some of the youth movement, then you're thinking, okay, do we have a Kobe and Io starting backcourt? You know, at the onset of the 24-25 season, Pat's back on a new deal. Maybe you try and have a larger role for Julian Phillips, who had an offseason workout that was going around.
Special boy.
And the fact that Lonzo has just been absent for 2.5 years, and now we are hearing, no, like Lonzo's still on the books for this team, and they're probably not going to go with the sign, the stretch and waive him route, because it doesn't make sense to pay him 2 additional seasons beyond the final year of his actual contract.
Just give him his lump sum.
So where does Lonzo fit into this picture?
Exactly.
And if AK is serious about making roster changes, what is Lonzo's role in the future and the offseason plans of what the hell AK is going to do to try and fix this team?
Well, yeah, it just adds more sludge, you know what I'm saying, and gunk to the machine. And I don't mean that negatively. I just mean he's got a lot to deal with is what I mean. Because at that guard position, even without Lonzo, they were already stacked, you know, at that position. And stacked by players that play the position, not stacked at talent, for sure, straight up talent. Even though they have a lot of talent there, you're still missing a true point guard in that scenario. There's still a lot of 2 guards, a lot of combo guards, you know what I mean? Caruso can play in a 3 and a 4, you know what I mean? Like, it's so many options they have at that position. So and even Javonte Green you could put in that also, even though he plays a lot of 4 and a lot of the 3, but he's 6'4", you know what I mean? But when you think about that, Matt, I'm like, all right, so what are you going to do with Caruso? That's really my first question. What are you going to do with Caruso, dog? We already know you obviously love him because you won't give him up for 2 picks according to Woj. You won't do those kind of things with him, so I don't know what you want to keep him for. You just signed Ayo Dosunmu to a new contract. He's not going anywhere. You just signed Kobe White to his new deal, and he had an incredible season. He's not going anywhere. You just brought Javonte Green back. He feels like he fits comfortably with this team. I feel like he'll be back. He won't cost you a lot, you know, to keep. So I feel like he'll be here on this team. You got a lot of these guys at this position, and yet and still you don't have any of them with that skill set of Lonzo. But the issue is, Lonzo, how is he going to play? How long can he play? How long will Billy put him out there? How many games will he get out there and play? Will his shot be there like it was always before? Will he be able to cut? Will he be able to move? Those questions Matt were asking. That comes with putting him on the floor and letting him play and giving him some time. So whose time are you diving into? Because Kobe should be out there. Ayo should be out there. Caruso obviously should be out there. Like, whose time are you cutting into right now to allow Lonzo to grow and see if he's still got it?
And that's why I keep coming back to the fact that, like, DeMar and Zach cannot still both be here next season. There is just no way that works. Not, obviously luxury tax right there out of the gate is reason number 1 and the only reason that Jerry needs. For that, but so I was spitballing like, okay, possible starting 5s for the season opener in October. If Lonzo's legit, like, laced him up, ready to go, ready to play. Kobe, Lonzo, DeMar, Pat, Vooch is a situation where you find a trade for Zach this offseason. Kobe, Lonzo, Zach, Pat, Vooch. You can't find a trade for Zach. You do maybe find a sign and trade for DeMar, or you just let DeMar walk. Kobe, Lonzo, Caruso, Pat, Vooch. Zach and DeMar both gone. Still refuse to trade Caruso.
Still.
Because they are so proud of Caruso and that signing. Or even bit more, youth-focused, Kobe, Ayo, Lonzo, Pat, Vooch. Let's not talk about the fact that each one of those I mentioned has Vooch at the 5. That is a different problem for a different day. No one is trading the Bulls anything for Vooch. He is here.
He is here to stay.
2 more years. Those are 4 different conceivable starting fives that could all feature Lonzo Ball in the 4th and final year of his contract because the Bulls are like, well, he's still here.
Yeah.
And actually healthy enough to play.
Yeah.
I just they can't have Zoe's availability or lack of availability impact what they think could be the best avenues out of this rock and a hard place dog shit situation that they've built for themselves over the last few years. What have Bulls fans been most frustrated by over the last 3 years after first half of the 21-22 season goes swimmingly and Lonzo Ball and the way he plays on both ends of the floor is a big part of that? Inactivity after, transaction window after transaction window after transaction window, with AK refusing to acknowledge that this team that he assembled looked pretty good and worked pretty darn well, and Lonzo goes down and everything evaporates.
Yeah.
Because you can't ignore the inavailability of that player and just hope that he comes back.
Yeah.
That's what Bulls fans have been just absolutely going crazy over, saying, how can you watch these trade deadlines in off seasons past and keep running this back to the same result? So whatever happens with Lonzo's availability this upcoming season, they have bigger fish to fry, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they can't have banking on Lonzo being available and in their starting 5 come October be a part of the rest of their plans for this roster.
No, not at all. And honestly, in that first year, I gave them a pass when they didn't make any moves about Lonzo's knee because I think they knew as much about his knee as we did because they were still talking about it like, oh, no, he'll be back this season. You know what I mean? He's coming back. So I gave them a pass on that, oh, y'all didn't really know what was going on, and how could you? The man had 3 surgeries. I get it. After that, though, you knew what was happening and you still did nothing. So that's on you for being a dumbass. I'm just setting that over there to the side. So now you're putting yourself in this situation where even if you want to trade him, Matt, he's got to play. You've got to showcase him. You've got to put him on the floor. I saw TB17 bring up that Lonzo should be in the G League, and playing there for a full season. Honestly, I don't think that's terrible. But I don't think he'll be there for the full season. Maybe some games because you just want to see if he is okay.
Yeah.
And if he can handle certain things. Yes, I understand that. But Lonzo is not going to stay there. You know what I mean? He's going to have to be on the floor to play because, again, he's going to have to be an asset for this team. That's the thing for Lonzo. He's got to be the asset for the Bulls, man, because they got to get something out of this, a 4-year, $20 million a year deal, just getting nothing out of it but 30-some odd games where you were the best team in the league.
And I think any of the 29 other teams in the league would be way too afraid to give up any kind of value on their end for Lonzo in a trade before seeing him on a court.
Yeah.
Like playing in a game. Yeah, absolutely.
Terrified.
And that's why, I think even beyond that, if you see Lonzo play a handful of games, I still, if I were a front office exec of a different team, be hesitant to give up anything that I coveted on my draft cabinet, young player on my team, for a back half of season loaner on Lonzo on an expiring deal and not knowing when that knee might give out.
Yeah, man. It's such a terrible situation for the organization, but it's one that they kind of put themselves in. Lonzo just wants to make sure he can play basketball. I don't think playing for the Bulls is on his big board list as far as this is going to be my future kind of thing. He just wants to know if he can play still. You know what I mean? If I can play still, my contract might be up. You guys might be getting rid of me, or I might walk and, hopefully there's another team. So this is a big year for him auditioning to other teams and showing them basketball. For the Bulls, again, this is the year to find out if you can get something for him. That is the key of this right here. Can you get something for Lonzo? Is he still good enough out there on the floor to where I could point to another team and say, hey, this dude can still play. He can help your squad. What do you want to hand me over for him? I know it's a risk, so you're not going to get a lot for him, but that's, again, the situation that you're in. That's the reality of it. You got to deal with that part of it, man, because at the end of the day, you don't want to let it walk for nothing, but it might be that case if he doesn't have the season that we think he might have.
I mean, if he can string together playing most every game, being available to play most every night,
that's huge.
From October to October through December, and then January when some of those trade talks really start to pick up steam, then maybe. Then maybe there are some teams out there who are like, okay, he's proven that he is out there and available. Trying to supplement that with a G League appearance, as somebody proposed in the comments. I'm with I think it was Alex in the comments who said Lonzo's not playing the G League. He's a star.
Exactly.
Lonzo would average a quadruple double.
Exactly.
In
but he
the
has
G
to,
League.
But I think it so gave him to go there for a few games just to see if it's all right. You know what I mean? Before I test it out on the floor. Because he hasn't played basketball in like 2 years, bro. Like, no, go to the G League for a couple games, and not even a long time, but for a couple games, move around, let me see it. I want to make sure you cool, bro. That's it. Not that you won't dominate everybody there, but I need to know that you're okay. I have to know that you have not been on the floor in 2 years, bro.
Sid B asking in the comments, why would you trade Lonzo if he shows you that he can still play? I mean, fair question, but then you're talking about signing Lonzo to a new contract.
That part.
After this 24-25 upcoming season.
Yeah. And also we're talking about the other young guys who have grown into those roles since he has not been there. Kobe White and how he's grown. Ayo and how he's grown. What does that say about their growth if you're going to sign another point guard to your team? You know what I mean? Like, a couple of those guys don't deserve to go back to the bench like that.
Yeah.
I watched Ayo drop 30-plus in 2 games out here on the season, bro. Like, that's the issue the front office has right now. That's their issue.
And so I like how this comment comes from someone in the comments called Optimistic Bulls fan.
Shout out.
I highly doubt he plays much before getting hurt again.
That's called
way
real.
to be optimistic.
Hey, it's real though.
Saying this is uncharted territory, fellas.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Correct.
As we were talking about in the medical part of this conversation earlier.
Yes.
Have not seen a pro athlete, let alone an NBA player, pull off coming back from this specific kind of cartilage replacement surgery before.
Correct.
Which is why tends to be, as a Bulls fan, glass half empty, not have full kind of perspective on things. That is why I'm sitting here saying we cannot abide this front office penciling in Lonzo Ball starter Bulls game 1 24-25 season.
Yeah, agreed.
You have to have a different plan.
Yes.
Even if you're going to try out of the gate to play him, if he says he's healthy, the doctors say he's healthy, and he's showing you out on the court that he can get around, he can get up and down, and looks healthy, great. Maybe you're going to do that to try to build some sort of trade value on an expiring deal.
Yeah.
Great part two. All of that logically makes sense. You cannot, when you are AK and Eversley saying, all right, who's our starting 5 next season?
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball's name cannot be in one of those 5 lines. It cannot.
I completely agree. It's got to be gone. Go ahead, Joe.
If they were doing that, they would be even dumber than any of us thought.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm worried about it.
They are penciling that in. They are officially delusional.
Yeah.
And how many years? 2.5? Have we been watching them do nothing to fix this broken roster while hoping that Lonzo Ball comes back?
I understand them using it as the scapegoat and being like, oh, push it down the line. If they actually believe that they have a sure thing, it would be absurd.
No, it would be completely absurd. And pushing it down would just be even more ridiculous to keep kicking that can down the road, as Will likes to say. It would be even more ridiculous to do that with Lonzo. Look, the bottom line of it, what we keep saying is we just want to know if he can play. That's what he wants to know. That's what the Bulls front office wants to know. That's what we as fans want to know. Can he play? Can he get out there and contribute and be some semblance of who he was? Because I don't expect him to come back and be him. If he does, fantastic. I'm going to be ecstatic over here if Lonzo Ball comes back being Lonzo Ball. That would be amazing, and congratulations to him on that, man. But all I would be thinking is, okay, now what package can I put him in? Well, how can I trade him? How can I move this around? Because he was brought in, Matt, again, to be with DeMar and to be with Zach LaVine and to be with Vooch. That is done. That is done now. You know what I mean? Like, so if that guy was brought in for those reasons, and Caruso, if that man was brought in for those reasons and they're already trying to get her out one of those huge pieces and trade them, and then another piece might not be here, we don't know yet in DeMar, you don't hold on to that. You don't hold on to that. You go ahead and you let it go and you start over, man. And it's okay to do that. But we've got to figure out first if he's okay and if he's able to get out there on the floor. That's step one.
Yeah, that's the part where, Rob saying in the comments, if healthy, he says he's good to go. Yes, he said he's good to go.
Let's see it.
Let's see it.
That's it, bro.
Somebody else had a joke in the comments earlier about Lonzo phrasing it like one of his co-hosts asking him, "Will you be in a Bulls jersey for his game?" And somebody in the comments said, "Well, yeah, Lonzo was there day one of the season, last season for media day for team pictures." Let's be careful how we phrase this question. But I mean, no, Lonzo just flat out said, my plan is to play the first game."
Yeah.
Direct quote, "I expect to play the first game."
Direct quote.
So Bulls fans can be optimistic and hopeful that that's the case, all the while thinking between now and regular season tip-off, October 20-something, whatever that date is when next season's schedule is released.
Yeah.
Between now and then, what we see this front office do as far as roster construction, perhaps changing trajectories of the future of this franchise, all of those decisions have to be made while knowing we can't bank on Lonzo.
Right.
Because we have 2.5 years of proof that we can't bank on Lonzo.
Right. It's important, man. It's an important season. But Lonzo, I hope you're ready, bro, and you out there, and I can't wait to see you play. And I hope you're back to the Lonzo Ball that we saw a couple years ago, because you've always been a dope point guard to me, man. And was I excited when you got here, bro. I was so excited when you got here, man.
Remember October, November, December of 2021?
Man, Matt.
That was a fun time, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were doing Locked On.
That was a fun time.
Crazy. Because I was right. I wasn't wrong.
Colin's comment said, "I want Lonzo to turn back into Thabo-Cephalosha 3.0. But I don't think that's going to happen."
Man, the defense.
Shout out Cephalosha reference.
The defense, man, how he made everybody just look smarter.
And also, it made AK look smart because you play him with Zach LaVine, and some of Zach LaVine's shortcomings, shall we say, are a bit more minimized. Zach can be a slasher off the ball a bit more.
Lint trap.
Man.
Lint trap. You made it easy for everybody.
They were trying to figure out and hadn't figured out yet how to crack that, like beat the best teams in the league.
That was the main
We all
issue.
remember, the record against the top four in the East, top four in the West.
Wasn't good.
But the rest of those games,
they were killing these. And it wasn't even close. They were killing these teams, man. And then the 3-point shooting. It was like that was the main issue. Let's get the 3-point shooting to combine with his, because he was the best 3-point shooter on the team.
Yeah,
fine. It was like minor issues we were worried about. Like, oh yeah, just get the 3-point shooting. Yeah, well, we'll be good. And now we're over here. Yeah. Get well, Lonzo. Get well.
Yes. Hopefully nothing but more positive updates from Lonzo. It'll be interesting to see what else we hear from him on this new platform that he's built for himself throughout the offseason.
Absolutely.
We are about out of time. Real quick, is our buddy John Sabine doing cartwheels down the streets of Chicago tonight? Do the Mavs make it 2 sweeps in the conference finals after Boston closed out Indy in 4?
Oh, I mean, I hope so. I hope that's how it goes, man. Like, just wrap it up, get it done, get it out of here. Don't stress this out. Get it over with.
I'll be happy for our sake as NBA fans to get another playoff game if Minnesota can show some pride and say, hey, we're not going to go out getting swept. Because the way that Wolves team through that crazy series with Denver, won Game 7 on the road in Denver.
They did.
That is what led me to start to believe in them and say, I believe I took Wolves in 7 in this series. And I am sorry, Luka, and I am sorry, Sabine, that right now they are making me look real dumb down there in Dallas.
Again, I chose them because I picked against Dallas the entire playoffs for this reason, because I've been rooting for the Mavs, and I'm like, oh, this is working? I'm going to do it again.
I just want more games.
I understand, but I don't know. I think they should wrap that up, bro.
Wrap it up.
They should wrap it up.
Well, enjoy this NBA action tonight. Game 4, Mavs and Wolves. Tip off 7:30 Central. Congrats to the Celtics. Man,
give them some love.
I don't need Boston winning a chip.
They said they got there though, but you knew they were going there.
Yeah,
because I know you wanted Indiana.
If you recall, I said, screw it. Pacers in 7. And you know what?
I remember.
The Pacers had fourth quarter leads in every damn game.
And it meant nothing. It meant absolutely
when nothing. They coughed up Game 1, I was like, all right, this is it. Like, if they had won that Game 1, I legit think they could have won that. But then, the Halliburton injury, and and then it snowballed. And boy, did that.
They weren't going to win.
That escalated quickly. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Central for another fresh live episode for you. Appreciate you, Bulls Nation. Hit that like on the way out if you haven't done it yet. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Sign up today to become a diehard to get all those great perks, discounts on merch, discounts on our fun events, plus that GOAT draft database available now for all of you draft junkies getting excited about the NBA draft in about a month's time. Big Dave is at Bow, BWL Sports, on Bulls_Peck. Shout out and thanks to our producer and pal on the controls, Joey Spathis. He's at Joey Spathis. CHGO_Bulls. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Bulls Nation. See you, Rebbe.
You well, Lonzo.